Hi, I'm Bailey Sandstrom, and I'm here to talk with you about the business of cultural diversity, and more specifically, doing business with clients from Nigeria. First of all, with their power distance index, the country of Nigeria scores very high on their power distance. So, what you should do in a business transaction there is realize that the person you are dealing with might not be the decision maker in your transaction. A lot of times in high power index regions, the decision maker would be higher up on the chain of command. So the subordinates in the company or organization that you'd be dealing with might be there just to hear information from you and then report it back to their higher up, which would make the decision. So kind of realize the perspective you're taking on the transaction in that sense. What you really shouldn't do is treat someone in a high ranking position casually. If they do clearly rank higher as a position as like an executive or something and you're just a salesman, that might not mean much in our country or where we're from, but to them, the chain of command is to be taken very seriously. So someone lower down on a scale and would be looked at as a subordinate to a leader or someone in a higher position should not be acting casually. They should treat someone in a higher position with a lot of respect. All right, now we come to the individualism of the country. This country ranks low, which means that generally they are collectivists or collectivism. So what you should do with your clients there is really take time to become part of their group. It's really important in collectivist countries to really get in with all the people there. Your client might invite you to their house, have you meet his or her family, and really know everyone involved, first in the organization that they work with and also in their personal life, to make sure that there is kind of a group consensus that yes, we do want to do business with this person, because collectively as a whole we have to like this organization and like this company and like how he represents it. So you really have to take time to allow the collective whole to get to know you. What you shouldn't do is rush a business decision, especially in Nigeria during a meal time or festival time. Um, as a collectivist kind of mentality, they like to take their time during meals to like get to know everybody, get to know how your day was, what you're doing back home, even get to know about your personal life and family. And if you see this as, oh, this is getting in the way of the business, that's kind of seen as kind of a term of almost disrespect. Like, we need to know if we like you personally. So if you're trying to rush over this personal experience and skip over the whole group getting to know you, then we're not sure if we can trust you for business. So don't rush a business decision when they're trying to get to know you. The masculinity in this country scored pretty high for masculine. So what you should do is show that you are able to give them competitive advantage and success over others in their industry with any kind of deal or transaction you're doing. You got to make sure that you're confident with it and that they know that they're going to be the best if they group up with you, or that they will gain a competitive advantage. What you shouldn't do is show any sign of second guessing with your decisions or any like too many options. Maybe if you have multiple options for what like your transaction could come out to be, that might seem indecisive and it might not seem like you know exactly what you're doing in their perspective with a high competitive, high success kind of rate. So the best decision would be kind of have a maximum of two options you decide to give them for their transaction deal, and make sure that shows that they will gain a competitive advantage and have great success dealing with you. For their uncertainty avoidance index, they were very middle ground for this. So depending on your client, you'll have to adjust to how you deal with them. If it seems like they have a high level of uncertainty avoidance, what you should do is show them that the deal you'll make with them has very minimal risk, and make sure you have evidence to back that claim up to ensure that they don't feel any uncertainty that the deal is going to go wrong, possibly the transaction might not work out exactly how you say it is. So you got to make sure you reassure them that these are the facts that back up what we do, and it will definitely be beneficial to you if you work with us. What you shouldn't really do, they show high uncertainty avoidance, is bring on like revolutionary ideas to them and bring a lot of change to what they usually do. If it strays from what they usually do, it might make them feel kind of nervous. They don't know if that would be the right thing because that's not how they always work. So they might be uncertain of the future and get cold feet on the deal you're trying to make. Now, if the person, specific client, seems like they have low uncertainty avoidance, what you should do is allow yourself to be flexible with them. They might not always have a schedule either. So you kind of have to go with what they're doing. It's if you go there for um, like 3 days. If you're scheduled to be there for 3 days, it might take 4 or 5. They are really kind of go with the flow. You have to make sure that you go with their flow. So don't force them to rush anything or adhere to a strict schedule that you're on, because that might come off as a nuisance to them, might come off as you're just really abrasive or rash and you're not willing to do business the way they are willing to do it. So you got to be able to really let loose if they are low on their uncertainty avoidance index. Now, for long-term orientation in Nigeria, they score pretty low, and that means that they're normative. So what you should really pay attention to is that they respect that you respect any traditions that they might have, because they hold them very close to their hearts. If they're having a religious kind of holiday or there's a national festival going on, and you're trying to do business, that's not going to go well. So don't interrupt any cultural celebrations or ceremonies they have. They really care about their traditions. Like they, I know for sure that they really take a long time to eat and get to know each other. In the U.S., we usually take 30 minutes to an hour to eat our lunch, and then we gotta go back to business, back to work. There, they might take multiple hours, 3 or 4 hours for dinner, 2 or 3 hours for lunch. And that's kind of their tradition. That's how they go. So you have to make sure that you respect that and don't get irritated by how slow things might be going, because they really do value that. And if you show that you don't value how they function, that will be a negative impact on any kind of business you're trying to do with them. And for this country's indulgence index, they score very high on indulging. So, like I say with the meals, like they take the time to really sit down, enjoy themselves, and relax, and get to have that cool down time from the day. They really do hold that as a high value. They like to indulge. They like to have a good meal with people they care about. So you should take the time to relax with them and enjoy yourself while you're there. Um, you what you shouldn't do is have them feel uncomfortable for not prioritizing business as much as you might be prioritizing business, because um, it might seem like that in your eyes, but for them, they really do need their downtime, typically, as the indulgence scale suggests. So if you think that the meal is taking too long, you need to get to business, don't let this uh, emotion come up in your face or in any rushed actions, because again they might see you as kind of rushed and abrasive to the way that they're working. So in conclusion, if you are trying to do business in Nigeria with Nigerian clients, you should really show respect to the way they handle business. It might be slower than what you're used to or how you're expecting it to go. Enjoy the time with the client and be personal with them. A tip that would be really helpful is to make sure you bring pictures of your family with you, because they would really like to get get to know you personally as a collectivist kind of country. They'll introduce you to their whole family if you're just trying to make a business transaction to them. So you should really reciprocate and let them know your whole family in return. Pictures would be a great icebreaker. You should talk about your family with them and make sure that you're extra confident in the decisions you make. They like decisiveness, and they like that they know that they will succeed if they work with you. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you.